To all my Brooklyn.
Gold Street and Nassau Street.
Damn.
What's the distance? Testing, mic check, 1 2 1 2.
All right, today, it's a little bit of both a spot check and some design theory for capital funding or just general aesthetic improvements of certain areas, right? So DOT has a program called L space, L being elevated space. So as we're underneath this portion of the BQE, as you can see, it's all been recently painted and renovated, and it has this yellow, almost beige, almost khaki color, right? So my concern is Golconda Skatepark, aka Fat Boy Skatepark, things that can be done to improve the park, the overall aesthetic of the park, and things that we can use to design future skate parks. So first I'm going to show you the entrances, then I'm going to show you the obstacles that I think could be redesigned or that are most popular. Then I'm going to show you things that need to be cleaned. So let's get to it. All right, so Golconda Skatepark, right? So you've got an entrance at the handball courts, which you can roll into, which I think is strange, but still cool, right? You got Parks Department here. I'm not sure what this metal installation of art is, but it's pretty cool. I don't know why this is a curb cut, but if it's a curb cut, typically it means that there's no parking. Bike rack, we've got the signage here for the park, right? Not sure if this shameless self-promotion is allowed, but one of my key issues with this park is entrance, right? So we've got 4 risers here with a relatively high handrail. And when I think of skate parks, I think in general, I think all skate parks should be designed with ADA entry ramps that are somehow dual in nature so that you can skate into them, roll into them, ride into them, bike into them, whatever wheel sports that you are, performing, then I think you should be able to bike, ride, roll, skate, board, whatever the case is. I think you should be able to scoot, roll into the parks. So when I see steps, I go, oh no. And I'm not saying that you get rid of the steps and put a ramp. What I'm saying is design it where there are both steps and a ramp. And I don't care how many entrances there are, I don't think it's enough. Right, so as we make our way around this side, this is another entrance, right? This entrance, to my knowledge, is generally always closed. You have your restroom structures, you've got some barbecuing, you got the playground, and I think it's generally always closed because it's part of the playground. If you look straight ahead, you've got an entrance gate to the skate park that is also often closed. So we'll just spin around this way. Right. Here you're looking at a very, very dirty area. Again, as part of the L space upgrades, I think that this should be beautified, whether it's paint and color. And I'm thinking of the FDR drive in particular, how it has a sort of purplish, pinkish hue and all sorts of decoration. Right, there's a party. Right, so here we go. Water fountain. Could use some TLC. Trash. I think this landscaping, in all honesty, is one of the worst. Let's just give a shout out to whatever they got going on over here because it's all part of the community. Ball is life. But what I hate is how this is deteriorating, right? All of the infrastructure underneath the concrete is deteriorating. The vegetation, there's lots of rats. It's just gross. It's just gross if I can make it plain and simple. And then even an infrastructure like this, right? So you see there's a steel guarding for the planter. As you can see, this is one of the most skated obstacles. It's one of those street obstacles that when someone designs a park, they don't consider, but it becomes one of the most sought after skate spots because it's not designed into the park. So my suggestion is when we design these parks and we design playgrounds and skate parks, that we start looking at the things that are not skatable and going, would someone try to skate it? And if they would try to skate it, then we should make it skatable and clearly skatable with even signage and without obstructions that can kill you essentially, right? So if you see here, there is a beautiful metal beam, right? So as I spin around, give you guys a little look at what's happening in the park. I love this feature. I love the bank features. I wish we had more of the brick bank features. You've got a drain in the little, I guess you call that a bird bath. I'm still getting familiar with skate park lingo. I love the paved concrete. It's smooth, it's not rough. This section needs some serious TLC. All of this needs to be power washed. And then once it's power washed, we need to install infrastructure, whether it's some sort of hanging infrastructure, bird deterrence, right? There's a dead bird that's like stuck up there. And it's just like, this is not healthy for anyone. It's not even quality of air or whatever. It's just, you can't have fun. And you've designed a space that essentially, it can be used, you know, but it won't ever be used. But yeah, and then I think a space like this is very dangerous, right? Why? Because it's a very sharp curve. It's a very sharp curve with a very hard steel fence. I don't know how skateboarders skate and whatnot, but on inline skates, if I come at this very fast and I miss my trick, chances are I'm going to slam into a very hard steel scape, right? Not steel gate, but steel scape. Steel fence, landscape, brick scape, stone scape, play scape, S-K-A-P-E, so steel scape. I think this infrastructure here would be dope to skate. This is the type of street spots I look for, and I would build a bank to it. This might be either electrical or water in nature. I'm not sure. Looks like electrical, City of New York. Again, all of the vegetation, tons of vegetation everywhere that makes the park dangerous and slippery. I don't know if you can see the vegetation over there. And, but let's, you know, even over here, this is not the worst, but it makes things difficult. If you can just, yeah, so actually, I'm actually slipping a little bit as I'm speaking to you guys. And then you see how there's an arrow here? I don't know who put this arrow here or that arrow, right? I don't know who put that white arrow or that black arrow, but I feel like skate parks should have signage. Again, signage for things like height, for things like length of obstacles, for the names of the spots, even if it were just a marquee or a marker that says, this is your skate park, this is your bank, this is your angle iron ledge, this is your curved angle iron ledge. This is your double set, this is your 7 set stairs that actually measures 8 feet in height. Yeah, more arrows. I love those features in skate parks, and I think we need more of them. When I point out things in this park that I love, this is one of my favorite obstacles in the park, and I love how it was sort of upcycled. Because let's just say, forbid, it was raining one day, you could somehow still potentially play handball or get your game of like suicide on this wall or homicide. I say that as just food for thought in terms of how we can connect different communities, right? Imagine how we can connect the handball community with the skate community. But this is one of my favorite features here. That's another favorite feature of mine. And this, I think, is my all-time favorite feature. So what I'm gonna point out here is that sharp angle ledges, right? Angle iron. Over time, they will wear down. I don't know the proper solution, but all I can say is that this is a ledge that I got mangled on, right? I love this ledge. I love these sort of, I love sharp angle ledges. Don't get me wrong, I have no qualm with them, except when I eat shit and die. So I did a trick here maybe 5, maybe 10 years ago, however old this park is. But the point is that I sliced my shin open. If that makes any sense. Sliced my shin open doing a trick on the ledge. I think after that day, I said to myself, I will never skate again without shin guards on. Inline skaters, I don't know about skateboarding, but we hit our shins very often. And for me personally, I've gotten good to the point where I know what I'm going to hit and I know how it's going to damage my shin. So certain tricks, I don't even wear the shin guard because I know I'm not going to hit my shin. This was one of those spots where I did not expect to hit my shin, but what happens instead is that I learned how to fall. And what I was doing when I was falling is I was sliding. So as I was sliding, my shin literally dragged across the entire ledge. And I was like, oh shit, that hurt. I thought it was nothing, but when I pulled my pant leg up, I had a giant open wound across the shin. So if you can just imagine what happens, and this is gonna be common on any of the sharp 90-degree angled iron ledges where bone is close to the surface of the skin, meaning your shin, your elbows, your knees, your fingers, your skull, right? So there's no muscle tissue between this piece of skin and my skull. So if my head were to touch the edge while I'm falling or skating, it's gonna split right through that skin and open a giant wound requiring stitches. So I just wanted to point that out. These are my main key issues. I will show you the other entrance. Coming up here, right, this is the outside of the park. This is the other entrance to this skate park slash playground. I find it very strange that there's a sign here that says Golconda Playground, but there's no differentiation between what is skate park and what is not. Either way, I still think it is amazing. All right, so this is what you're coming into when you enter from this side. And I love how open this is. It's very welcoming, but so much debris. Right? If that's a drain, that needs to be cleaned, right? All of this vegetation, right? And you gotta love that there's a whole basketball game out here with the family and the kids. Oh. 34. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Golconda Skatepark, aka Fat Boy Playground. This might be TMI, but I've sacked myself on this rail. I feel like a rail designed in a skate park, I feel like this rail could easily be a lot lower, considering that it's a park designed for fat boy or children. And some other food for thought, right? So if I'm looking if I were hosting a skate event here and I had, let's say, all free reigns to do what I wanted to do, I would use this as a skate spot. I would completely remove all of this steel barrier and I would make this ledge skatable so that you could skate this ledge out and over. That obstacle over there, I would make that electric box skatable. This right here would be a spot where you can gap without the steps. Somewhere here, I might even leave an opening in the seating so that you could gap this way. And I would design it so that there were different levels. So you can gap, let's say that's a 4-foot gap, and that's a 5-foot gap. Let's say that's 4-foot gap, 5-foot gap, 6-foot gap, you know? So someone who's learning, especially if you're a skateboarder, I think inliners have gaps easier, but you can progress and go through the motions and go, wow, I just did this gap, I just did that gap. But yeah, to reiterate cleanliness and things that bring people back into the park. I have always wanted to skate this, but I have never skated it because of how filthy it is. You've got a drain that dumps right into the skate park. There's got to be a way we can have that drain go into the ground so that there's no drainage or spill off onto the floor. And then again, masonry pavers, right? Pavers instead of concrete wherever possible. And I think those are my last and final thoughts. Peace, love, and blessings! Actually, I think I neglected that spot right behind me. I don't think I realized that was a wall ride. Because I feel like this section here gets underutilized because of how it's designed. And since we're in this corner, let's just look at all of the filth. All of the fucking filth that we have to deal with bird droppings and just highway construction and a lot of vehicular traffic. And then this section here, obviously it's a beginner park, so this section here is very weird to me. I don't think I've ever stepped foot in this corner. But yeah, this corner is very weird to me. And when I look at a rail like this, I say this is a better option. 45 rounded curved steel instead of a sharp, almost razor blade like edge. So I'm gonna say no razor blades for you.
Very good, very good. You know something?
No razor blades for you.